Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 6 of the PSR podcast. It's a bit of a quieter episode this time. Two of the normal hosts, Etiquette and Tucker, are away at GDQ. So we just have the one host with Ian with me right now. Hello.
Hello, how's everybody? Hope everybody's doing well.
Scoa is just a bit busy at the moment with some moving stuff, I believe. So hopefully Scoa will be able to join a bit later. But in the meantime, we'll do the community roundup side of the podcast. And the only one minor thing that hasn't really affected speedruns yet. We said before that. I said to Ian before I wasn't going to mention it, and then my brain decided it did. Pokemon Home is now being allowed for Scarlet Violet. Like, there's access for that. So there may be some things that happen with some maybe trade or main categories, or I guess secondary leaderboard stuff nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's been some talk about doing some of these trade alt mains with some of the single stories, which would be kind of interesting. But yeah, it's gonna be intriguing to see what happens with that, and also maybe bringing things back to Sword and Shield for trade alt mains there. That'd be kind of cool if that's even possible at this point.
Yeah, that is a thought. I mean, yeah, I assume you wouldn't be able to do any of the Scarlet Violet Pokemon, but you'd be maybe able to. There's a chance maybe you could do some of the like, I guess, Gen 7 and earlier Pokemon that were not like they did not have access. I guess stuff like Ben and that would be the first one off the top of my head, because I'm pretty sure has that had any access. I'm taking this in a tangent.
I'm not the right person to ask. I wouldn't know.
But anyway, there could maybe be some more Pokemon. Who knows? But let's get into the Switch side of things, starting off. Ian.
Yeah, so this is there's quite a lot of activity, obviously, with Let's Go tournament starting very soon. So lots of people are working on improving their PBs for that, including I'm not sure if Amber here has a better time on Pika, but this is Amber's second place time in Let's Go Eevee, 301.45. If you saw the stats quickly there as they were going through the candying, you might have noticed that the special attack and speed were 0 IV, so that's obviously not great, but really solid run all around up till that point. And losing a little bit of time losing a bit of time later in the game due to doing some safer strategies, I would assume. Possibly, I'm not sure if for this run that they did any of the safer marathon safe or race safe champ or Elite Four strats, but you definitely need to do some safer things because your ranges just aren't as good with the lower IV. But Amber's a really solid runner this game. Really solid time here, and definitely capable of better with a better star. So it's really good to see. And then also a little bit of time loss in Sylph as well. But yeah, nothing much more to say about this one. Just watching a bit of the run, it looked really solid.
Yeah, I will say for Amber, she does have a better time on Pikachu, but I think everyone who may have done a run on Pikachu that has also a time on Eevee, this is a very bold statement, or like a broad brush of a statement, I should say. But I think they all have faster times on Pikachu than Eevee. Like, I'm looking at Randall, for example.
I'm not sure if I think Etchies might be faster on Eevee though. But
actually, Etchies is faster on Eevee. Never mind, the actual world record.
I'm not sure if that's for NMS or if it's for any percent, but could be for both. I'm not.
The NMS, yeah, Pikachu is slower than Eevee for Etchi. On both versions, actually. Wow, I was just straight up wrong. Anyway, it is what it is. Going to this next run, Pidgeot has been popping off with Sword Shield stuff. This is the not as of yet verified run, but once it is verified, it will be the Galarian Stealth Tournament English World Record. 7 hours, 1 minute, and 57 seconds. And there's definitely some things that could have gone better. Like, for example, this Regidrago catch took just under 5 minutes, which is very bad. Like, just very unlucky with catches. You just can't really do too much about it.
Is that just throwing tons of balls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's...
Just, you can't really do too much other than just hope it stays in. It's a low, I said 3 catch rate or something. So yeah, it's just very unlikely to get in. Like, but then also I think 8 wild encounters I saw in the description that was mentioned, and then also in the actual Galarian Star Tournament itself. The Calyrex got hit by Rock Tomb, which made it slower than the other for almost all the other Pokemon for the rest of that fight. So yeah, some things that could go better, but it's still like a very solid run for a 7-hour category. And I think this actually beats like, is it Etiquette second with like a 708 or something? So like it's still a sizable improvement on the world record before this. Okay.
So
it's 707.30.
I've never seen Regidrago before, so it looks kind of cool. I don't know. I
Yeah,
never like played through this part of the game, but it's kind of neat Pokemon.
Yeah, and again, because like with its arms, I guess, like if it closes up, it's a dragon face. That's it's a pretty cool design.
Yeah, Etiquette has a 707. This is the previous best, so this is a decent improvement there.
Yeah, decent improvement indeed. And then this version has been verified. This is the Japanese second place time, a 7:04.32. I think Pokehall-chan has a sub 7, which is a very good run. I'm not sure. Like this, like the one note I have for this, like they go through Dynamax Adventures 3 times, and I have no idea why. Like the only thing I knew for Dynamax Adventures was that you do it mainly to get the Dynite Ore. Yeah, Dynite Ore's the second DLC, I believe. So you can get the carrots, but then you also like get the Suicune at the same time. It just works out. I'm just not sure why at this point, because I managed to get enough Dynite Ore the first time around. Maybe they just want more for experience candies, maybe, but I feel like that would be inefficient. I don't know. Also, I couldn't find the notes for this. I don't know where the notes were available for like even just like English notes. So I couldn't double check if there was something in there maybe that I'd missed, or that I just wasn't aware of. But yeah, this is the second place time from Pedro. And now I think back to you, Iron, for like Scarlet Violet stuff.
Yep. So yeah, this is we have a couple of runs here from Crisis. Crisis has been doing a lot of Scarlet and Violet, so hasn't submitted at many of his times, but a couple of them were verified on the Japanese side. First up, we have Path of Legends in Japanese. And of course, for the single stories in Japanese, you have to start from the beginning of the run. And this run uses Meowscarada, which is used in English as well. I'm not sure whether the Japanese community has been doing Flamigo or if they've been using Cat. I feel like that's kind of been a mixture of the two. We did see there a little misclick prior to fighting Arven. Accidentally using Grass Knot on Scovillain, which lost some time, but got clean fight on the second attempt as well. No paralysis, which is always a good thing to see. The stats for this, so if anyone's familiar with the Path of Legends run for English, you have fairly strict stat requirements, and that's mostly because you do the run and you level up to around 50. I think it's 52, 53. But for the Japanese category, because you're actually starting from scratch, you need to be a little more lenient on your stat requirements, because otherwise you'd be resetting forever, and it's quite a long opening section. So you'll see here Crisis's Meowscarada is level 55. A couple extra levels for some safety. But yeah, pretty good run from there. And gets a clean fight the second time. Also, we have Skoa joining us. Hello, Skoa.
Oh, hello.
Hello, I have made it.
Well,
Indeed.
we skipped over the DS run, noted run, but we'll get to that one shortly. So we were waiting for you to join us.
No worries.
So one more run from Crisis here. This is the Starfall Street Japanese glitchless record using Flamigo. In his video description, I believe he indicates that he could switch over to the duck route if more people run and get competitive times in this. But Flamigo is a nice option because it's a little bit less strict on resets, because really for Flamigo all you need is to have the flying Terra type is the main requirement there. Pretty good run overall. Obviously, as you can see here, a little bit trolled by Nimona too, but everything went fairly cleanly. Also, he got the glitched Japanese record in Starfall Street. And anyone who's ran this game would think that the glitched... Why would you do the glide glitch in Starfall Street? You have to go out of your way for a bunch of extra things. And the glitched Japanese time he got is about 9 minutes slower than the glitchless. So it's more of a novelty meme run more than anything, but because it's technically an option on the leaderboard for glitch, so why not give that a shot? So
you mentioned that you need the Terra flying for that's like the main thing for Flamigo. Where do you terrestrialize?
I believe it's on Ortega.
Ah, okay.
Because that's the ferry base, and you just get absolutely mauled if you don't terrestrialize.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Because you get hit with super effective moves. That's something I was considering for the duck route, but you can kind of get away without doing it, because duck is a little bit more bulky than Flamigo is. Yeah, I think that's about it for this one. So
yeah, I think we'll head to the DS noted run from Rubentus. And Skoa, do you know much about this run? Like how Rubentus did?
I have not seen the run, but I believe Rubentus does solo duck. Which, if you skip forward a bit, that'll we'll be able to find out. Go forward one more split, just.
This is a Cantina split.
The other Tenta would come after mainly. I say other Tenta, there only is one now. It's been so long since I've ran this.
We'll see if this loads.
God, we love YouTube. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
You're a per encoder.
Oh, foreign encoder, indeed. Well, let's just try refresh. See if that's gonna do anything.
The software equivalent of turn it off and on again.
Yeah. Alright. Let's try else. Oh no, never mind. Right, so it's gone back to Saba. Hey, at least it's something. So you want like the main split? Wow, I picked a brilliant time there.
That actually works. So Rubentus must be doing solo duck, which is a route that has recently come about that a lot of people seem to favor. So a number of years ago, it was theorized obviously about using Golduck and then combining it with a level 50 Tentacruel. And anyone who ran this category or watched this category knew that level 50 tentacle minute was it was genuinely the hardest save and quit minute probably in any Pokemon run, purely because there was a massive luck element to it, where you literally like NPCs would like be moving in the area, and you had to. It was basically expected that you would never get them in it first try, because depending on the NPCs that are off screen, by the way, that you can't actually see, RNG would advance by different amounts. Then once we finally swapped over to Golduck, Worcester did the no save and quit Golduck into a brand new Tentacruel. You needed a new one because the old one didn't have the poison barb. You got a poison barb off of the level 41 in the old route, so you needed a new one. Because without poison barb, you have to use hydro pump, and that's terrible. And ultimately slower as well, as terrible accuracy. But a lot of people tend to avoid doing the new level 50 Tenta because it is very hard. It is probably still the hardest manip in Pokemon, but it's hard because of what you have to do now. It's not difficult because it's completely out of your control these days. But 243 is a very, very, very solid time. I don't know much about Solo Duck and how far it can go. I would hazard like a really strong Solo Duck run would probably be like a 240, 241. However, Rubentus or March would be able to give a much better estimate as to how far that can go, because I will never run Solo Duck, so I'll never be able to tell you. Rubentus has just said did first practice playthrough with level 50, so you're gonna swap over. Does this mean we will maybe see a Rubentus world record attempt at Platinum any %? I don't know if you have any intentions to swapping to the no save and quit Golduck. Obviously, the big thing with no save and quit is that you can't manip the catch. So if you don't save and quit, you have to deal with it. It's like I don't even know what the catch rate is. But you try and catch like a level 40-ish Golduck from full with a netball, and you have like 3 shots or whatever, but because of the random AI, it can just choose to kill you on like any of the turns with Monferno. Yeah, I wanted to say about 33, but I don't know if that's just because my brain is in Drillbur mode from White 2, because it's 33. But yeah, the main trouble is that on basically any of the turns, Golduck can just try and kill you. The other interesting thing here is that this is the fly route, which I don't know if Solo Duck has ever been done with teleport, or if it would even work with teleport. But fly is, I want to say, it's not even really new anymore, because fly's been about for a couple of years now for this game, where you go and you get fly and you have to fight Maylene's gym to do it, and it cuts out a lot of the movement that you otherwise have to do, because with teleport you have your teleport spawn point in Orberg City, and you just kind of have to like bike to various points in the map. Like there's a whole section where you have to bike from Orberg to Sunny Shore, and you literally have to go across Sinnoh, which is really cool in terms of execution, but obviously fly takes a lot of that out, and you mark places at different times and all that stuff. So the routes are very, very, very different to how they used to be. Certainly very different to how it was whenever I ever ran this. I've never caught a Golduck in my life for this game. But yeah, 243 is a pretty dang good time. Rubentus's 240 is probably doable with Solo Duck. But the goal is to swap over to the other route. So be interesting to see how far you take it. I love people running this category. It is by far the coolest. I dare say it's the coolest route in the entire franchise, especially if you go teleports into Golduck into Tentacruel. I think it's definitely the coolest ride in the entire franchise. So it's always really cool to see people giving this one a go.
So is duck good just because it's a high? You get it at a high level, it can kind of just steamroll, or is there like, does it have a good move set or a good type matchup, or what? What's the benefit of using Golduck?
Previously, we used 2 different Tentacruels. The main thing is, right, Golduck's actually worse than Tentacruel, just overall.
Cloud9, yeah.
But the thing is, you can get Golduck immediately after the bike. You get it on the right, just west of Eterna. You always got Golduck, or no, Tentacruel, sorry. You got the level 40. You had to, like, bike the whole way back to just above Sandgem Town and do 2 tweaks. And then you'd have to bike the whole way back to Orberg again. So, just on its own, yeah, you lose a lot. So even if you don't have, so even if you still do save and quit, Duck, you still gain time. Obviously, the big thing would be no save and quit, but the journey down to Tentacruel takes so dang long that you still end up saving a good amount of time doing it this way. But yeah, Golduck does actually make a couple of the fights worse, especially if you were going to do the level 40. A couple of the fights are just straight up worse. Like Rival 3 is one of them. And as Rubentus has pointed out, Cloud9 is always really good for the fog route in this game, because otherwise you have that base, like I think it's like 60% or something that like all moves have to hit. It's absolutely horrendous. It can go so badly wrong. The fog is so overpowered in this game.
I think also something to mention is that apparently Rubentus lost the Alwo Bop, the Hall of Fame out text RNG or something.
Hall of Fame text RNG?
I assume maybe just not mashing is good. I don't know. Because I'd be surprised if there was actually RNG in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm unaware if there is actually RNG. There's maybe like variation of lag or something, but...
There actually is RNG. Okay. Why?
There is RNG. This is interesting. You can get 2 different prompts. I was not aware of this.
Wow. And then one of them has an extra text box, and that's how you lost the bop. Wow.
That shows how often I ever get to the Hall of Fame in Sinnoh, man. I just don't know this.
When was the last time you were on Plat?
Technically, the answer is yesterday.
Alright. Alright, fair. Other than yesterday. Or
Well,
other than the day
outside
before
of
yesterday,
that-
if you did that as well.
No, yesterday was the first time since like
Alright.
early 2022 I played it, and that was glitchless. And I did not get to the Hall of Fame last time I played. The last time I saw the Hall of Fame cutscene was like I got a low 57 diamond 90% run like a couple months back, but before that, the last time I saw the Hall of Fame was probably my last platinum glitchless PB in 2021.
Oh wow.
Because I don't know if it's the same in DP at all, to be honest. So I'm not going to count my DP glitchless stuff, because I don't know if the prompts are the same or if the text is the same.
It is the same in DP.
It is the same in DP? Well then just ignore me. I clearly have no idea what I'm talking. Although now that you've typed out the 2 lines of dialogue, that does ring a bell. I just thought they were happened at like different points in the text. That's unfortunate that you lost the Alwo Bop to that though. Surely just next run though. That's the motivation to continue playing.
Yeah, indeed. I think we'll finish off the rest of the noted runs, and then So yeah, we'll stick with the community round stuff, and then we'll have like the SCOA focus, after the highlight video. I think, does that work?
Yeah, I think that works well.
Okay, cool. So in that case, we're going to go on to Pokemon Stadium, Gym Leader Castle Round 1. Second place on the emulator leaderboard for Chrome, with a 133.37. Which, based on the splits, there was a bit of an issue during like the Sabrina, Blaine, Koga area. But things just seem to hit. Is probably the case of this run more than anything.
I was about to say, missed less thunders than last time. Is probably all it is.
Less thunder.
Speaking of Golduck.
Yeah, hey, Golduck. Hitting the thunders, hitting the horn drills on the champion as well. So, well done to Chrome for hitting. Shady's had a pretty solid month. Like the first run I mentioned from him, Explosive Sky 80%, no Wonder Mail English DS/3DS world record, a 524.14, sorry, which seemed to be not an amazing start. Again, just basing off the splits, but bringing it back over the split, Deep Dusk Forest, and then later on in the Hidden Lands. Was just where Shady was able to pull further ahead at that point and just set a new world record. So, congrats to Shady on that end.
I want to point something out on this, by the way. This is continuing the trend of every single time I see a run of this game, they're using different pokes.
Oh,
every time.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's different every podcast. Like,
it definitely is. I've never seen Bulbasaur get used in Sky. I don't think I've seen Bulbasaur ever get used for like anything. No offense to it, like. But...
did it not used to get used for soft lock in Red or something? Not soft lock. Was it? Was there 80% no save corruption? Oh, there was something where it was used because Bulbasaur was terrible.
Yes, it did.
It was NSC. It was NSC. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the really old NSC.
Oh yeah, and Blue Catchable as well.
Yeah, I've never seen Bulba get used here. That's insane. Last time I saw this, it was like Riolu Vulpix or something.
Riolu, I do remember seeing that a lot, like from podcasts.
Quite some time ago now, and I also saw like a Cyndaquil variant at one point.
Yeah, Meowth I feel like is fairly standard. One of the other games is Skitty.
Yeah, that's Red Blue Rescue Team.
I remember
Red Blue.
Skitty, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if that was also different if I went and looked at a run.
It might be at this
so,
point. It might
they
be.
seem to rewrite these games like every month.
Yeah, it must be fun to like constantly just have.
Oh, it must
rerouting.
be, yeah. Like the people who write these like must have like the time of their lives constantly finding new stuff.
Yeah. If you're a router, look at PMD, I guess. Sticking with Sky though, eponymous with the Beat Darkrai no Wonder Mail English emulator world record, 8 hours 32 minutes and 12 seconds. It's eponymous with another Beat Darkrai world record. I think this I feel like this. I would not be surprised if this was 6 months in a row now at this point, or something like that. Like, eponymous just gets a lot of world records with this category, and just with PMD in general. But for this run in particular, apparently it took a long time to find the second blue gummy, which is a bit unfortunate.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Which was quite unfortunate because apparently it was actually quite a good Aegis cave for once for eponymous. This is using Eponymous's own words, obviously. I have no clue, but yeah, it's one of those just typical Pokemon things. You finally get something good, and then the other thing that is normally good goes bad.
Basically, there's a segment in the post. So Aegis Cave and the Blue Gummy stuff are both in the post game, so you don't have to worry about either of them at any percent. You eventually take a mana fee into your care at some point in the post game, and you have to feed it blue gummies like every day that cycles through. So I'm assuming you want to have them like stored up through the run, and there's a couple dungeons where they have higher spawn rates. I think like Waterfall Cave or something is one of them. They just have like way better spawn rates in there. So you want to build them up so you can just like blast through the mana fee section. Um, Obviously that's complete luck or whatever. And without Wonder Mills, you don't have as much control because you might be able to get that as a reward somewhere. In Aegis Cave, that's the dungeon where the Reggies are. So you need to. The only things that are ever in that dungeons are unknowns, and they have like a percentage chance to drop a stone corresponding to the letter of unknown that it is. And you need to get rocks that spell out either rock, ice, or steel, depending on which Reggie you're going to. So I'd imagine the strat is like you just like sit in one room by the stairs and just hold A and B and like let all the enemies cycle through to you until you can eventually find the right letters. Yeah, that's it's pretty insane how much variance there would be, and that's like really really far in. Like this Hidden Highland is nearly 5 hours in and you're still not done with any percent.
Yeah.
Aegis Cave is really really far into the run.
Fair enough.
So respect to the PMD runners that can be bothered with that.
Yeah, fair play in that case. That sounds like a nightmare for speedrunning. And then just the fact also that, like I mentioned, Eponymous tends to get a world record in this almost every month. So just like, fair play to Eponymous for going through that every single month.
To be fair, this game seems like it would be a blast to run. I wanted to learn it at one point, but there's just so much to learn.
Yeah, there is one last PMD world record, and that again is from Shady Gamer. This is Rescue Team DX, any percent, no passwords, no gummies, English world record, a 2:40:46. Managed to get a 56 Great Canyon, which is apparently amazing. And then a very solid fugitive section, which is also backed up by getting good items like the Troll Orb, which you may have seen at the start of this if I highlighted this correctly. Just able to use that to, I guess, bring up a bunch of items, and one of the items was a chestnut, which is needed for the mankeys, so that they will do work, basically. Fortunately, the end game didn't hold up enough to get the sub 240, but still like an amazing run nonetheless. Also, I just love the art style for this. I know some people didn't like it. I really like this art style.
I love this art style.
Yeah, I like how this looks.
Make Sky in this art style, and I will be very happy.
The monkeys not doing the work because they don't have chestnuts. Iron, one last run to mention.
Yes, this from the ROM Hacks fan games side of things. We have a very interesting run. This is crystal clear, 100% glitchless Manipulus on version 2.5. So what this means is you're catching all the Pokemon, getting all the badges, beating the champion in Mount Silver, trainer, and then that unlocks a final fight against the quote-unquote creator of the game, which is can't remember their name. But anyway, it'll come to me in a second here. This fight is really awkward. You can't use items in battle. You're locked out of going into your bag. And this lead Tyranitar, you have to hit Dynamic Punch on it, and it has a Bright Powder. So, and because you can't heal, you have to get pretty lucky that. You also, I believe, he's holding a Quick Claw as well. So you have to kind of win those coin flips for the Quick Claw as well. So it's pretty brutal. But yeah, just getting good RNG and getting through the fight is really important without taking too much damage. Just outlasting his team. The previous best time in this is about an hour and a half slower, so like 10.5 hours or so. So this is a really good improvement. And then he did die a couple times on this fight, unfortunately. So, but yeah, no RNG manipulation and no glitches used here. So I think it would be pretty trivial with the nip, but although it may not be actually, but
Yeah, it's just again, I'm always impressed by people who like do like the longer, just like longer runs in general, because they take a lot of mental strain just to get through them.
So this is the
Sorry.
yeah. So this is there's obviously instant text, so it makes things go a little bit quicker than Gen 2 would otherwise be. So that helps a lot. And there's also it's also an open world hack as well. So you can kind of access. Believe you can start whichever town you want, and that's made for some interesting routing in other categories as well. But it makes having it be open world makes the catch 'em all element very interesting in terms of how that would be best done.
That's interesting. Do you know where this one starts?
I have no idea. I only really just looked at the final fight because I heard it was bad. But
yeah, you're not fair enough. I think that's...
there's like single badge records. There's single badge runs you can do, which it's better to start in a certain spot. But I don't remember. I don't know too many details.
Yeah, I say. Say we're done with the noted runs for now. Then, in that case, we can go on to the upcoming marathons, which I'll go through them this time. It's been a while. So first up, we have I'm just gonna say Festival Randomizer. The letters are in a different order, I assume, because play on randomizer. Yeah, starting with the 11th, at 1 p.m. UK time. LD running Stadium 2 Little Cup rental moveset rando. That is then followed by Newtson with Crystal Full Item rando. And then straight after that, it's So15 doing Heart Gold Soul Silver Kaizo Ironmon. So a little Pokemon block there. Then we have Bingothon Summer 2023 on the 12th of June, just after midnight. There's a Pokemon Red randomizer, 3-hour limit on it, so it doesn't go too long if it's an awful seed or whatnot. Between the DM Panda and Rob the Gamer. So that'll be a race there. Then we have Meme RTA Marathon 3, which is a Japanese marathon. On the 24th of June at 12:15 in the afternoon. Yikrin is doing Stadium Gold Silver. I'm assuming it's a minigame hard 5 wins. As you might be able to see. Okay, it doesn't translate on here. When it does translate it, it doesn't give anything that seems like even remotely close to like what a category could be. So that is a guess, but hopefully it is something along the lines of minigame hard 5 wins. And then there's directly after that, Buster Poke is doing Diamond Pearl Catch Arceus. So a couple of runs there if you're interested in Japanese marathons. And then finally, from what I could find, on the 25th of June, I believe this is another Pokemon block, effectively, for Power Up with Pride 2023. Cathasaur with Pokemon Puzzle Challenge on the easy difficulty, just before 2:30 on the 25th. That is then followed by Jagsy Red Panda doing Snap Any Percent, and then finally Trivaria doing Scarlet Starfall Street. So, is the upcoming marathon. And I think with that, I think it might be good to leave the cool things to the end as well. Or do you want to mention them now?
No, we can save them to the end.
Okay. Then in that case, we will go over to a quick break, And in the meantime, we'll have the highlights video playing for the last 2 months, because we didn't do one last month. So just combine them to this one. So we will see you in around 8 minutes, I think it is. So in a bit.
Flinch, 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 flinch. I'm gonna die again. I will miss the 91% range again. Epic, dude. And I obviously didn't flinch. 91% range, by the way. And I'm gonna miss it again, and then it's over. Epic. Time to say goodbye. See ya. Next critter. I flinched. Are you serious? At this point, I just wanna die. Fuck off. Another try. I missed it again. I missed it again, but I flinched again. What? What just happened?
Good. Never mind. I have never had it happen. Oh, I'm so happy. And we got turnarounds anyways. I don't even care. I've never had that happen. Oh, holy shit.
I don't need heat, okay?
How did I hit the circle? Oh my god.
Ooh, that's not good. Oh my god. No way! No way! No way! No fucking way, dude! No fucking way! This is so stupid! What the fuck is this? That's the most cursed Caden I've ever seen. I should probably heal poison. Please don't protect. Of course he did. I used 7 psychics on this fight alone. 7!
No, I'm not yellowing at Linguini. Fuck that. Holy fuck. Fucking crit. Speed. What the fuck? Fuck off! Jesus. Holy shit, dude. Dude, that's 3 crits! 3 fucking crits! Fuck out of here!
No! What? It wasn't even on the screen! That's the worst encounter of this whole game I have ever seen!
Add some like chicken. I usually add chicken to mine. Chicken and like an egg. Esports? Huh?
I'll be fine.
No. Oh, it's just over. Oh my god. You serious? So much for not having a potion, bro. I'm very much about to run out. Okay. Yeah, you're a +4. Yeah, that's your skills. It's a dead run. Fuck's sake, man. That was probably the worst TNT I've ever had. Really? Just gonna do this. Fucking hell! Fuck you! Oh my god. No, I miss it. That encounter killed it. Like. It's actually 15, 16, I think. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, God. Wasn't paying attention to how much it did. Dude. Oh my goodness. No breaks. Fucking hell.
And Bouncy got another level 2 rats. Oh no.
It's
Yeah,
a 78% break.
those breakouts are not good. Matt's, interestingly enough, not electing to go for Bubble. Or maybe he was not going for Bubble just because he got a Pidgey. So, yeah, maybe he's going to kill the rat. We'll see what he decides to do with that. But then, oh my god, Bouncy with 3 breakouts on that
3.
one rat.
Goodness.
4
4?
breakouts on that rat.
No.
Dude, there's no way.
He's getting.
Dude, he has to buy balls now.
Right.
Dude,
oh
there's.
my goodness.
Are you serious?
Oh my god.
That's 78%.
Flinch, 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 flinch. I'm gonna die again. I will miss the 91% range again. Epic, dude. And I obviously didn't flinch. 91% range, by the way.
We are back. We let that play a bit longer, so that way I could inform people on the podcast this time as opposed to just jumping in like I did last time and maybe give them a minor panic. Yeah, this is your run, your ridiculously good white 2 run.
Yeah, man, this is a combination of years of work. Is
Like-
what this is.
When did you start on white 2?
2018.
Oh,
Holy.
that's 5 years.
Yeah. I started running Pokemon in 2017. I got my capture card in February 2018. And then I didn't actually pick up White 2 until like August 2018. But yeah, this is the game that I have by far put the most time into. Probably by a couple hundred hours, to be honest. I've put an insane amount of effort and time into White 2. So Jordan, if you want to skip through to like go to like 2 hours 14, just because that's just at like the end of the Marlin fight or whatever. It's more interesting to have just on in the background
Okay.
than just Tepig killing like a Pansage or something. 'Cause the execution and stuff at this point is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the new White 280% record, the world's first ever 309, and the best speedrun I have ever completed in my 5, almost 6 years of running anything. This is by far the run I am the most proud of. And it's a category that, and to be fair, I'm happy it is with this category. So, and anyone who's ran White 2 will know that White 2 is not a game about how much goes well. It's about how few things go poorly. There are so many things in this game that can go catastrophically wrong. Like there are 2 very, very bad points in this run. That if you took them out, the run would actually be a minute faster. Which is insane to think about, that everything else was so good that I still got 309. One of the things that was really poor is that this run actually has a third ball drillbur catch, which loses like 35 seconds by comparison to a first ball. Which is just insane. Breakouts are so slow in Gen 5. So the fact that 3 loses like 35 seconds is mental. And it makes for some interesting commentary throughout this run. Like, I'm very frustrated with a lot of the stuff that happens in this run, because I hold myself and my gameplay to such insanely high standards. There are some points in this that I make, like the smallest execution mistake, and I'll complain about it for like a couple minutes just because I'm really annoyed about it, because I've been playing the game for so many years that I just assume that I should be playing perfectly at all times. But especially like around the drillbur, the drillbur split or whatever, I complain quite a lot around that point, because the run was genuinely like god status until the drillbur time, and then it just kind of became like relatively average for the kind of runs I had been getting. I actually did have numerous better runs than this past Drayden. This was the best ever one past Marlin, and then it was just the only one that didn't really die in the end game. But the other bad point in this run was the clay split, where the Watchdog fight, the Charles fight especially, was really, really poor. And then Rude was like fine. Everything was really, really terrible, to the point that I actually got the flinch on Sandslash at on clay, and I still lost like 0.1 to my PB or something. And that flinch is supposed to be like an automatic like 20-25 seconds back, because the switching and whatnot. Sometimes you die if you don't get the flinch, just depends what your HP is leaving Rude. But it is a really, really, really good flinch to get. In this case, it acted more as like a lifeline for this run, because so many other bad things had happened. Rubentus putting the wing emoji. I actually did get one of the cloud spots on Driftfield Drawbridge. I think they're called cloud spots. I have no idea what they're called. But that was the only instance of like shaking grass or dust clouds or whatever in this run, which I'm actually only now thinking about. I didn't actually clock at the time that I didn't have any of those. Overall, this run is like, it's really good, then terrible drillbur, then really good until clay, then like a kind of shit clay split, and then it's really, really good just kind of from there on. Like the Skyla split's really awkward, but there's so much variance on that split. Like I complained about it at the time, and I was still only like 5 seconds off of my gold or something, with a lot of things that went wrong. But because it's so unlikely that you get everything on that split, because there's a lot of ranges, and in the world tournament there's the 50-50 for the abilities, because all of them are randomized. And And then, honestly, the Drayden split, most of the time loss from Drayden is because I just had to do an extra healing menu because Skyla's split went poorly. But all the fights in the Drayden split, and basically all the fights from there on were really good. I think the only thing that I can pick on is Samurott, and I really like picking on Samurott. Because it's just really, really annoying. It missed an Aqua Tail in the second double battle on this split, the Frigate split. But pretty much everything outside of that was really good. I don't think I got... No, I didn't get any flinches on Marshall, but I did crit throw, so I'll take that. It ended up being a 1 death Marshall, which is like... It's pretty much average. And I did get a 3 flinch chorus, which I have never had in a run before. Which ended up saving me back a bit of time. So for an indication on this late game, my best possible time leaving Drayden was like a 3:09:19, I think. And then this run finished as a 3:09:46, and that includes a fake gets us gold of like 8 seconds or something, which I actually did make a good dent in because of the 3 flinch chorus on this, but only losing like 30 or so seconds in like the final R in White 2 is absolutely ridiculous. It is so good. And yeah, like I said, it's the culmination of many years of work. And I'm finally to the point where I feel like I can put the game down and not immediately feel like I have like the temptation in the back of my head to come back to it. Because although that third ball Drillbur is really annoying, and I do have the slightest temptation to try more to take this lower, I just know in the back of my mind the length of time it will take to just, like, at that point it is just hitting your head against the wall until you eventually get a string of things that go well. So I did think about it, but I'm just gonna leave it. Because trying to get a run that will beat that will take probably another month or 2 of like daily grinding to even have like another couple chances at it. So I don't think I will ever play White to any percent ever again unless I am like derusting for a marathon or something. And as Rubentus is pointing out, this run uses new manips. I redid all of mine. Well, technically, I didn't actually redo my Drillbur one. March actually did it for me. So shout outs to March for finding a Drillbur that uses the bike, which is a new thing that everyone just seems to be doing these days. And I was envious and wanted in on it, even though it only saves like 1 or 2 seconds. So thank you, March, for finding my Drillbur. And March actually did the search for the Tepigs as well, but I sat and routed out the seed. But the Tepig is actually the big change for me in this run. I swapped from using Naughty to using Rash, and I also have recommitted back to using 26 plus speed on Tepig, which is... It is faster, top end. I know Minnow disagrees with me about Rash being worth it. After spending 2 months or so playing with Rash, I can guarantee you that Rash absolutely is the way to go. And a formal apology to Worcester for thinking he was wrong for all these years, because Worcester has been using Rash for a very long time and telling everyone that it is better. I can say with absolute certainty that Rash is better. If you want a good time, you should be using Rash. However, only use Rash if you're also going to use 26 plus speed. For anyone who doesn't know, 26 plus speed means that you are speed tied with Charon's Lillipup as opposed to always slower than it. The Naughty fight kind of just works off of the assumption that you get hit into Blaze for the final hit. Obviously, if you have a speed tie, you're not guaranteed to be getting Blaze at any point. However, Rash compensates with that with being able to kill Lillipup with it's an okay consistency. It's like 43.7%, I think it is, to kill Lillipup in 3. And then of course, obviously, you get the burn bonuses and all that stuff. But only use Rash if you're also going to go for that speed stuff, because it means you can go into Charon with Blaze and get a way faster fight. Which I actually don't think I maybe did get it in this run. I don't know. I did gold the Charon split in this run, which is very, very, very rare. But yeah, I think that's all I've got. I know that was kind of like a 7-8 minute monologue just of this run, but yeah, I always have many thoughts about this game. And I absolutely love it to death. And I am not done with the game because I still have unfinished business with challenge mode. So I may be back in a number of months talking about a challenge mode time that is hopefully every bit as good as this any percent time.
Definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, definitely do look forward to that indeed. So there's literally nothing that would bring you back to White 2 at this point.
Unless something new is found.
New
No.
routing or anything, yeah.
Yeah, literally unless like new writing happens. I'm actually to the point where I don't think that even someone beating my time would bring me back to this. But that's the other thing, is I actually feel really secure with this time. I didn't feel secure with my 310, and obviously I was right not to be because Minnow beat it. But I do feel secure with a 309. Because there are plenty of people who could do it. Minnow, if he came back, Crafted, Tucker, Rubentus, Worcester, all could do it if they put in the time. But that's the very thing, is I don't think anyone can be bothered to try and beat it. So it's less a question of ability, and just I don't think anyone is as insane as I am to try and get a run that good in this game, because the odds are so heavily against you in this one. So I feel very secure for the first time ever, I think, with this game.
I guess just for context for anyone who might be watching later down the line, at this point, Minnow's in second with like a 3:10:11. Then like Crafted, Rubentus, Tucker, or like in the 3:11 range. Then there's a few more people in like the 3:12 range as well. So Minnow is definitely the closest, but
I think I'm like 30 seconds ahead of Minnow, who's like a minute 10 ahead of Crafted. It's like the gaps are quite mental these days in leaderboard, because whenever I first started, everyone was actually really close together at the top end. It was like Crafted and Buster both had a 3:13, and they were within like 20 seconds of each other. And then between like Worcester and Crafted, at one point they were like 12 seconds apart from each other. It was only really whenever because Minnow and I took the time like way lower than it had previously been, because Minnow is undoubtedly my White 2 rival. We traded the record back and forth quite a lot through the years, beating each other's times, going down through 3:11 into 3:10, and I guess now into 3:09 as well.
So if you just want to play a fun little game, you said you got your capture card in February 2018?
Yes.
What do you think the Black White 2 80% record was at that time?
I believe it was 3:13:31 by Crafted.
Okay, well that is very impressive. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. That is right. Crafted with a
Like
3:13:31 to the second, yeah. So like fair play on
Man knows
that.
his game.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, dude, I think I could probably give you chronologically the records that have happened since I showed up.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead if you can. I mean, to be fair, this actually might be difficult for me to figure out, but
Okay, I believe the next one, and this one won't show on SRC because the next one was me with 3:13:13, I think. But the very same day, Crafted beat it again and got 3:12:47.
When was this?
Oh goodness, I have absolutely no idea now. Hold on. Oh, no, I was gonna go and check the obsoleted runs, but that defeats the purpose of the challenge.
Yeah, I'm trying to
It'd have been
think.
late 2018, I think.
So, no, on the 20th of January 2019, the world record was still crafted with a 3:13:31.
Keep cycling forward then. I've no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
when-
I'm just trying
when
to
I got
find
it.
where it could maybe be. SRC.
The one I'm actually unsure about is my PB. I'm very certain Crafters was 3:12:47.
There is a 3:12:51 from Crafted on the second
3:12:51.
12th of June 2019.
Interesting. I wonder why I have 3:12:47 in my head then. Maybe I got a 3:12:47 at some point. Okay, well, if that's
but
not it-
you mentioned same day, yeah, you had your time
Yeah.
beaten, which was a 3:13:18.
Yeah, because I still have in my title for that run world record for 7 hours, because that was the first time I'd gotten the White 2 record, and Crafted had been because I had him in a call with me whenever I got that run, and then he streamed. I got that in the afternoon, and then he streamed again at night and got it back again, like 7 hours after I finished mine. So,
Alright.
next would have probably been Worcester 3:12:35.
Yeah. Do you have a general idea for the date?
Ooh, I think it would have been 2020, right?
Yep, 2020.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say April 2020?
No, a bit earlier than that.
Earlier.
Yeah. Going to just say at this point?
Yeah.
12th of February.
Oh wow, really?
Yep, 12th of February.
After that, it was almost me. I got a 3:12:38 not long after that. I just barely missed the record because I had like a terrible E4 or something. I think the next one was me with 3:11:55.
Yep.
I have absolutely no idea when that would have been.
Just hazard a guess.
It was like very, very early 2021. Maybe like the 2nd of January or something.
Very close, the 5th of January.
5th of January. I remembered it was very, very early in that year. Because I remember just coming back like after taking days off for Christmas. Actually, no, I didn't even. I came back to the category like after Christmas, and then got that time in like a couple days. After that, I actually don't know. I don't know the exact time, but I think it was 3:11 3x by Minnow.
Maybe a chance it's not on here.
Oh yes, Minnow removed his runs historically. Dang. I'll go to his channel actually and see. It might still be there. Because I do believe it's dang. No, it wasn't. It was 3:11:43 was next.
Well, that one's not on here either, but
yeah, that would have been the next one after my 3:11:55. It would have been 3:11:43 by Minnow. That won't be on SRC because Minnow deleted his account at one point.
Yeah.
Then next would have been 3:11:13 by me.
Yep, that is there.
After that, 3:10:59 by Minnow.
When was that one?
Ooh, Minnows 310. I have no idea. I remember where I was whenever he got it, but I don't know the date. I'm gonna have a guess that it would have been like... Ooh. Like May 2022 or something?
According to the Playdon, 4th of September 2021.
Really? Oh my days, that was way earlier than I thought.
Submitted on the 11th of June 2022. So like with releasing maybe, but that actually does remind. Oh, maybe want to check something. Okay, so the one that I said 5th of January for you, you actually played it on the 4th, but
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of my runs at night, so I always have to change the played by date and whatnot. So and the YouTube upload date's always slightly off, which actually annoys me quite a lot. But
some of my favorite things currently on SRC is when you see like a recent run for someone, and it's recent run, and it was done tomorrow.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's someone from like Australia.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. But anyway, keep going. What's the next one?
3:10:24 by me.
Yeah.
Which I believe was in... Oh, ooh. Was it? Wait, so when was Minnows?
September. It was, let me get the actual date. 12th of September.
2021. I actually don't know when mine would have been then. Maybe that's when my 310 was mine in May 2022 then.
Nope. 9th of October 2021.
Oh my days. Wow. Okay, I actually didn't. That means I didn't PB at all in any percent in 2022. Dang. Then next would have been the 3:10:11 by Minnow.
It probably is. Just give me a second because it's do you know a date?
Oh.
You verified this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't know. You would not. Who would remember? I don't remember.
August 2022.
July 2nd.
July. Dang. That's because I remember looking at it a while ago and it said like 10 months ago on SRC or something, so I just counted back the months and hoped it would be right.
Well, it says 11 months now, so.
Oh no! When I checked like a week ago, it was 10 months.
You've been ruined, but then yeah, now it's obviously.
But yeah, then 309:46 by me, which I also can't tell. I'll probably say 1st of June on it, but I actually played it on the 31st of May.
It says played on 31st of May.
Okay.
We're in the same time
Dang.
zone, so.
Well, the dates I got horrendously wrong, but the actual times, I think.
To be fair, you were close with was it your 3:11:55, which you said you were like a couple of days off.
That was the only one that I had any sort of solid memory for. But the only times I got wrong were Crafted's first 3:12. I think I got my first 3:13 wrong as well, and then Minnow's 3:11:43, which is quite ridiculous that I got like that. That's a bit. It's actually a bit sad.
I mean, you've been working hard on this for 5 years, like on and off, I guess, with some other categories.
True.
But like,
it
put your
is
time
quite
into
silly.
this.
That's actually not the only game that I can probably do that for. I can probably do it for a couple of the other DS ones, which will be very useful if there's ever another pod quiz and any of those questions ever come up, because I'll have a strangely encyclopedic knowledge for a couple of the games and I'll have no idea for some of the others.
Yeah, what's your knowledge history for Let's Go runs?
Oh, absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
I have a 338 in that game. And there was a point in time that I knew it. I didn't keep track of the Let's Go leaderboard. Like, whenever I looked at it, Headstrong had record and Retro Tato had record. Like, it went back and forth between those lot. And there was a Japanese runner who I think was like called Hashed Rice or something.
Hash Rice does sound familiar as a name.
But like the record went back and forth between like them guys whenever I last paid attention to Let's Go, which is pretty much whenever like the first couple months after it came out. And I tried to relearn it a bit after that and just haven't been bothered.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair. And I assume that there's
many
no
cool
chance of the
things
Let's
in
Go
the,
tournament for you? I know, hijacking
No,
you stepping here.
no Let's Go tournament for me. If people make a White 2 tournament, I will be there.
All you and 10 other people, maybe?
Yeah. Unfortunate. See, this is the other really unfortunate thing about the DS games is they have some of the coolest routes and some of the most fun things in them. I forgot about that flinch from that SL Gore. Damn it, man. I think these are some of the coolest games, some of the most fun, and have some of the most inventive routes. But the barrier to entry is just so ridiculous for some of them that a lot of people don't play them. But it would be really, really cool to see, especially because there's a lot of people on emulator who have done Maniplus for this game. I know the legion of French runners who were doing Heart Goals to Silver Maniplus glitches for a while. They swapped over to White 2 and they were all running that at the same time or something. It'd be really cool to see them go to Manip and try that out. But yeah, unfortunately White 2 is just, it's so difficult to get going, but it is one of the most fun ones once you are going.
Yeah, maybe. I'd say maybe someday in the future. I highly doubt it, given just how the manips tend to be. Also, the fact that you have to make your own manip.
Yeah, that's the big thing that turns people away. Having to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But then there's also getting a hold of a DS capture card is also still really quite difficult.
Yeah. Some were actually on sale recently, right? Or was that 3DS?
Loopy had capture cards not that long ago. I mean, I say not that long ago. It was probably like 5 or 6 months ago now. My perception of time is quite bad. But
like, I saw like an announcement like within the past couple of weeks, but it might have been 3DS. To be fair.
Oh, yeah. If it was, then it would have been 3DS because DS hasn't had that recently.
Okay, fair.
Also, on the topic of new White 2 people, public call out for Amoeba to finally write out Swaddle Plus and play this game. Thank you very much. I have been waiting for a number of years.
Well, just add another rake to his thing. The rake we've got Moon any percent. Yeah, another one for Swaddle in White 2. It can happen.
He actually did look at Swaddle at one point and discovered like that it was like garbage because of Roxy, I think. But I think I saw him say he still kind of wants to do it at some point, but just hasn't got around to it.
Yeah, routing does take up a fair amount of time if you want to like be very thorough about it.
Yeah, especially for alt mains, because White 2 is very, very difficult with fights like Elisa and Charles and stuff. Getting alt mains that are like actually not just terrible is quite difficult.
Yeah, I think in that was a bow. I think we could put a bow on this now. You weren't like you was like that. I know you say it was like monologue. That was like a very informative monologue.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Yeah,
I've
it's
such a
great to
passion
listen
for this
to.
game.
It was great to listen to. Like find out more.
Thank you.
Yeah, your mindset throughout like the run and like with different things. But yeah, I guess we're gonna leave this playing in the background for now. While we talk about all the cool things that have happened, which I didn't actually. If you wanna take them.
Yeah, for sure. So, as most of you know, SGDQ just finished yesterday. We had a couple amazing Pokemon runs in that. We're gonna maybe have we haven't decided yet, but we might have that as our feature for next month. So, stay tuned for that. We might try to get some of the runners from that to join us to discuss their runs. But they were really exciting runs, really entertaining. I really enjoyed the Colo race. The commentary was top notch.
Yeah.
And I actually learned a lot about how that run works. I didn't know about the various more intricate mechanics in that run, so that was really interesting to see. And a really great job to both Swift and Sparkle on that. And then last night, Etiquette ran Victory Road for Scarlet. Actually, no, it was actually Violet, because that was the game that won the incentive, and that was another very good run as well. So, and of course, Etiquette will... is one of our hosts, so he'll probably be talking about that next week for sure, because he'll be on the podcast. So stay tuned for that. And of course, you can find these runs if you missed them on the GDQ channel, I'm sure. So definitely, I recommend to check those out. The last thing is the Let's Go tournament. Signups end this evening, I believe, or I think 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, something like that. If you don't know if I don't actually know for sure, so please. Join the Discord. Jordan will be placing that link in the chat, and there's also a form to sign up in the chat as well. So be sure to check that out if you're interested, and you can also just join the server to kind of follow along the tournament as well. It'll be really exciting. Lots of really great competitors in that. So the tournament will be starting in roughly a week, I believe. So
yeah, draws are on the 7th.
Yeah, draws are on the 7th, and I think races will start around the 10th or so.
Yeah.
And that's for the first round, and then I'm not sure what the exact format's going to be at this point, but it'll be comparable to what we've seen in other tournaments so far.
So, at least off the top of my head from when I last checked, there was 36 people that had signed up. So it should be, if it stays around that line, it'll be double elimination. So like the first round will effectively I'll put people into winners, put people into losers. But also if there is some buys, so like just depending on like if it's not a number that's divisible by 3. One or two people from the fastest times in round 1 will get put into winners round 3, I think. They'll skip round 2. Because it's just fairer to do it at that point, doing based on time in the tournament. But yeah, it'll be like double elimination, winners and losers bracket, all the way up until the final.
Yep, should be exciting. Looking forward to it. It's a fun game. Well, it's a fun game to kind of pick up. Once you get to a certain point, and grinding it and improving your time can be quite frustrating at times. So
yeah,
lots can happen, but that's kind of what you expect in Pokemon speedrunning. So
yeah, that is
nothing new.
Pokemon
Nothing new here.
101 there, yeah. Doing that, shall we go into the leaderboard roundup? We are at the bottom. Sounds there. Good. We should be at the top. There we go. Obviously, with it being, well, I think it was the 13th of May that we did the last podcast, right? So it's only run since that. So it is a bit of a short one, but still many notes, or still a fair amount of runs nonetheless that deserve a mention. Like for example, L Revolver 385, 19th on any percent, a 125.277. Fair play there. Also, just feel free to shout out. I'll just point out any runs whenever. Actually, yeah, Yada ran, nice one.
In yellow.
Oh yeah, Peugeot in it. Yeah, it's 6th for 80% glitchless classic in Japanese. 20736. Peugeot just, I think it was last month or the month before doing GBA runs or DS runs or 3DS runs. I think they've started just going all over the place at this point.
Yeah, they did the Galarian Star tournament recently, so
Yeah,
doing a bit of yellow as well.
yeah, just why not? Yellow's I like yellow as a run. I should do that more at some point. I'll say it, but I know I won't get around to it. But I'll keep saying it to myself. Someone's actually doing a Gen 2 run in Crystal nonetheless as well. Manipulous English, 14th for Rizzy. A 3:39.28. With the controller dying midway through the run. That would be
and
my
I'm trying to
nightmare.
switch to keyboard. Yikes.
Yeah.
Couple runs on Fired Leaf Green. We have Hoka, really great time on Emulator, 204, and Bill Bonsai, another French runner, 208, 41. I believe Bill Bonsai has also done some blindfolded stuff in the past, so I don't believe this one was blindfolded. But
yeah. I mean, if that was blindfold, that'd be an impressive blindfolded time.
It would be.
Wave in
also
5th.
some round 2, yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you. Of
course, Wave Warrior won the Fired Leaf Green tournament and switched over to round 2. Good to see. 330 for 5th place is quite good. I remember when like 331, 332 was record, so it's insane how much how far along that category has come as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Our only 2 DS runs, we've already talked about them, so.
Yeah.
There are a load waiting in the queue. Like, there's like 20-something runs in the queue. So there are like quite a few. They just aren't there yet, so they'll probably get cycled in. Wait, how does this work?
I typically put the date limit as the date of the podcast. So any runs that would have been submitted before today probably won't come up on the next one. Unless I change the dates.
Read out things that are in the queue then, because I genuinely there are like.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I mean, if you've got access to it, yeah.
Yeah, I mod everything in DS, so I've got access to all of them.
So it's not whether they were approved. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
No, Jenna, there are things sitting in here from like 22 days ago. So I'll start with Black White 2. This is just going from bottom up. Any percent by Sway NC in 3:28:23. That was done 5 days ago. That is actually on console, so all me talking about getting new console people, there is a new console person. I don't believe they're on the leaderboards already. That is the only one for Black White 2 on the main boards. On Black White 2 category extensions, there is a 3:18:34 on Manipulous by Yaxo. That's on Desmume. As you'll probably recall, there was a massive split between like Flashcart, Melon DS, and Desmume a couple months back. There is a 3:40:03 also on Manipulous by Joylin. That is on Melon, I believe. Oh no, it's actually on console. Happy days. Love to see it. Then there is a Darmanitan alt main by Bill Bonsai in 3:47:47. Darmanitan being used in Black White 2 is quite interesting. There was actually a theorized route for that in Black and White 1 at one point that Sinstar came up with. That just never came to fruition. Diamond Pearl cat extensions. There is a Manipulous any percent by Matt. There's a bunch of numbers after that. Can't be bothered to read them. Is a 105:15 on Emulator. There is another Manipulous any percent on Emulator. I'm assuming that's going to be Sake_Pappy. and 106.53. Those are the only two there. On the Platinum category extensions, there is a Manipulous Glitchless run on emulator by Lucas PGLP in 408.41, using the Chimchar Manipulous route. There's another Manipulous Glitchless emulator run by Kingling in 423.49, also using the Chimchar route. Black and White 1 category extensions, there is a Manipulous Desmume record by R the Lab in 325.30. Manipulous on emulator, this is just like on Melon, by Daniel 0114 in 337.23. Manipulous on emulator by Slywoo in 342.30. What else is there? I've read out those. All right, Heart Gold to Silver. This is where the majority of them are. Alt Main for Alligator on emulator by Bill Bonsai in 412.08. Alt Main for Alligator, also on emulator. One of these is record. Bill Bonsai's record. There's a 416.54 by Kaosh. I hope I'm saying that right. Apologies if I'm not. A Manipulous Glitchless run on emulator by Charlie Aled in 352.02. Manipulous Glitchless on emulator in 358.37 by Diagon. Manipulous Glitchless by Kingling in 357.49. An old PB from Diagon sitting here. An alt main Centret by Galeno in 8 hours 30 minutes flat. That is insane that someone has done that. And apparently has a 2-minute AFK time loss to receiving an Amazon package. That's incredible. Manipulous Glitchless in 351.51 by Mist S4. A Manipulous Glitchless run by Yaxo in 348.51. Manipulous Glitchless by Lucas PGLP in 347.59. And that is everything that is in the queue for the DS games. So I figured I'd read them out because that's like 22 runs or something that realistically should be in the leaderboard roundup. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because obviously we wouldn't have been able to see them at all.
Apologies for being so behind. I'm pretty sure everyone on the DS side has been really busy recently, so that's why all the runs are taking forever.
Yeah, it happens. Definitely happens. But back to the leaderboard round of runs that we can see. I've delayed in 44th for XY aim%, a 445.56. Joanna in 24th, a 304.04. On Omega Ruby any percent. Let's go. A few people running this in preparation. There's been a couple of races, or more than a couple in fact, have been done in the Let's Go Racing Discord. Randall Eats Cheese in 4th with a 301.33. Dynam in 6th with a 302.22. Like Dynam, very like. They had done runs of this before the tournament was announced, right? But it's still like a relatively new run in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, Dynam's insane.
Yeah.
He kind of just came out of nowhere. He's been on in the community, but in Let's Go, he just picked up the game and has already got a really solid time. So.
Bouncy also picking it up because I guess if there's a tournament, there is Bouncy. A 314.10 on physical as well, just to note that. Quo a 323.13. Fortunate a 351.04. We already mentioned Amazon. Teapot with a 303.35. Finally running on digital. So there could be some more time improvements coming from Teapot, especially over the tournament maybe. Ergote in 12 with a 304.01. And then Kid Rocker in 26 with a 310.51. All those last few were on the Eevee side. Also a diploma run, Drivari and Dynam in 21st. 5:10.19. We already mentioned Peugeot for Galarian Star Tournament. Now Blood Dog on 5th for Legends Arceus, a 354.59. Not many people run that nowadays, so quite nice to see. I think I've been seeing Hulk doing Catch Them All in like a bit of a preparation for the All Series race. I think he's joined Boom and Rob's team because they're doing that slightly differently this year.
Yeah, I noticed that. That'll be a pretty interesting race that they're doing.
Yeah, well, so like the interesting, they're doing it as like a relay on their side. So like, I know that
it's a catch-em-all thing too. You have to catch all the Pokemon.
Yeah, so like, what was it? I think it was 4th Gen Gamer, Shen, and
Cruel, I think.
Yeah, Cruel. They did theirs already, so it's gonna be interesting to see who has the quicker time, given that some people have it, or like who Hulk and Rob have been able to maybe analyze theirs if they've decided to do it that way, or they might just be going into it however they want to do it anyway without paying too much attention. But yeah, either way. One Gym Leader Castle Round 1 Switch Virtual Console run in 12th of Voxness, a 150.45. One Stadium 2 Gym Leader Castle Round 1 Fierce Kyo in 14th with a 2:15.17. What flag is that? Dominican Republic. Interesting. Jaxie Fox.
The Welsh flag.
That is the Welsh flag indeed. Jaxie Fox, in preparation for Power with Pride. So I assume that's the same person. Might be an old name, I don't know, but I don't know too many people with Jaxie. That would be a very interesting coincidence if it was a different Jaxie that is running Snap. Anyway, Colosseum, 5th place on 90% for Photo, a 3:30.44. And then also a couple of emulator runs. Helio Knight in 2nd with a 3:32.56. And then 3rd, Sammy Lamy with a 3:33.06. So, a couple of runs getting close. Randall's still a bit ahead, but definitely getting closer. Got a few PMD runs. Cabral in 4th with 80% no quick save, no wonder mail, English DS/3DS/GBA, a 2:40.55. And then on Red Dress U team, same category but on emulator. On the Rhyme, on the Rim, a 3:12.35. And then 4th. For Explosive Sky, we mentioned Shady earlier, but Cabral in 2nd with a 5:26.32. Eponymous in 2nd for 80% no wonder mail. English on emulator, a 5:18.07. Couple of Poke Park Wii runs. What is Pocket Crystal League?
It's kind of a trading card-esque fan game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not
Oh.
really based off of anything in particular. We have covered it in a podcast a long time ago. I remember. I'm not sure if we even had one of the runners on to discuss it directly, but
Anyway, congrats to the world record, Paul the Food Eater, a 151.46. Category extensions, Panuta with the gold silver, Game Boy Tower, Japanese world record, a 1:11:37. We have one ditch build run from Morgrim, a 34:32. We have a singular flex on Mum run, Caradoc with a 17:21. Couple of BDSP category extensions, more than the main leaderboards themselves. Asan Pass with a Japanese world record, Kojia with a 4:54:13. All Lords third place for Blood Dog, 2:49:04. And then RDA with a few stadium category extension world records. And then LD at the bottom with Earl's Pokemon Academy as well in second. And so with that, that is the leaderboard roundup done. Oh, thank you for joining us.
Most welcome. Thank you for having me back once again.
No problems indeed. One of the things I found,
we look
I'd been...
forward.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, we look forward to your return in a couple months.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
if I had it my way, it would be every month because I'd have something to come back and talk about every month.
Seems like it's every couple of months. That's why I said it's every.
Yeah. I'd had, like, so the thing I was going to say, I'd been really bad with updating the podcast guest command. Apparently the last time I had updated it was for you, Scoa. So I had to do nothing this month, it turned out.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect for me. Iron, though, thank you as well for hosting.
Absolutely.
Next month, I think you said you were away, right? If it's the first.
So we may push that back a week because it's a holiday. I assume it'll be a holiday weekend in the U.S. as well. So because 4th of July. So we'll discuss in our chat, and then we'll let everyone know whether we'll be pushing that back a week or not.
Yeah, there's also a chance as well. Because there's also just the tournament as well that could throw things for a loop.
Yeah, and
there's a lot
we may
of
just
things.
have it on a different day altogether.
Yeah, so the next podcast will be on a day. It'll be on one of the days.
Sometime in July.
Yes. But yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are. In the meantime, yeah, take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.